Let's set this up, shall we? Let's set this up. Before we start, I'm a Rotherham fan. So I'm just going to try and get my connection into the Coventry game. I will watch it on there. Bum, bum, bum. If I watch it on there, then I need to. I know I can watch it on there and listen to it on there. Bum, 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 bum. So that's where I'm going to watch and listen to it. Right. Okay, so we have. We're going to go for the lineups. Let's have a look at the lineups. Coventry, not being a Coventry or a Leicester fan. Well, I used to be a Leicester fan back in my university days, which was about, God knows, 30 years ago, 30 odd years ago. I used to be a Leicester fan when, back when, they were in the top division with, oh God, there's some very, very top English players in their side, and you're thinking, oh my God, they used to play with an old leather ball, I think, in those days. So Coventry on here are 4-4-1-1. So it's looking. I wouldn't particularly. I don't know whether he'd really be playing back there, or whether he's going to be playing along, sort of pushing alongside him. But we've got Bradley Collins in the goal. We've got a back line of Milan Van Evik, Bobby Thomas, Liam Kitching, and Jake Bidwell. So quite a solid back line, I think. We've got a midfield of Sakamoto, Ben Sheaf, Josh Eccles, and Casey Palmer. Personally, that's not a bad midfield, but I think it's not brilliant. It's not an outstanding midfield. We've got trying to get that forward line into position. We've got Callum O'Hare and Matt Godden. Again, personally wise, Matt Godden up front on his own, I wouldn't particularly. I don't really want Matt Godden up front on his own. I want him supplied. I want him to play 1-2s off someone, and that's why I think that it's not going to be a 4-4-1-1. I think it's going to be more Callum up there playing a sort of 1-2 with him. Who have we got in on the substitutes bench? We have got. Keep swapping things around. Go away. Louis Binks, Kyle McFadden. Oh, got Kyle McFadden on there. Ben Wilson, yeah. Ellis Sims, yeah. Liam Kelly, Jamie Allen, Fabio Tavares, Jay De Silva, blimey, and Joel Latabaudiere. Wow. So we've got some pretty good subs to call on. So how are Leicester seeing Coventry City? It looks like Leicester are really thinking this is a point to try and slaughter Coventry. Never go to a team that has such a low wage bill and think that you're going to slaughter them. I think last year Coventry had the lowest wage bill of all 24 teams. Yes, lower than Rotherham United. Look where they ended. And I think the problem is when you go to teams that have these low wage bills, such as Rotherham and Coventry, you can you can underestimate them, and all of a sudden they catch you, and they got caught. Leicester got caught out against Rotherham, um, although they won. They found it extremely difficult to win because they just they underestimated us and had to come out in the second half thinking completely different. So Leicester City, we've got Hermanson behind in goal. We have a back line of Ricardo Pereira, crikey, Yannick Vestergaard. Oh dear. Woot Face. I've never heard of that one. I never heard of Woot Face, actually. Not heard of that one. James Justin. So we've got a couple of really good heads in there, haven't we? Midfield, we have now is it a 4-2-3-1? What would we think? I think they're actually going almost like a 4-2-4, but trying to pull back the front three. So we have got Cassetti in and Winks in midfield, Harry Winks in midfield. So you've got a bit of a holding line, and then according to Sky anyway, it would be nice if we had some Leicester City fans in. And then up front we've basically got Abdul Fatawu. We've got Dewsbury Hall. We've got Mevedidi, who plays occasionally extremely well and occasionally absolutely appalling. And then Thomas Cannon up front. I think that their front line is an interesting front four. I'm not overly convinced. See, they've got the skill, they've got the Premiership skill and the Premiership class. I mean, one of their players is probably worth any one of their players is probably worth the entire Rotherham squad. So I shouldn't be saying that any of them are poor, not as good as the others, but I think we have a bit of a topsy-turvy skill set here. And although they're all extremely good quality, and we are still talking Premiership quality, I think that mix has proven to be a little bit. That's where they've fallen down. When they have fallen down this season, it's been the mix of skill sets. You got the likes of Dewsbury Hall, and yet nobody's actually who's with him that can actually provide those essential passes and take those essential passes from Dewsbury Hall. Actually, usually Dewsbury Hall just goes straight in and has a go himself. So I just think that at the minute, what you've got there is a key man where people are going to try and lob the ball to, i.e. Dewsbury Hall. And certainly when we were watching them at Rotherham, it was let's lob them to that particular person at the front, and then it will either go out and then back in, or he'll go straight through the middle and try and score. Quite often it was Dewsbury Hall, Mevedidi, back in, Dewsbury Hall, goal. And that's what it was seemed to be planned as. It's almost too rehearsed, and I just think that Coventry will either really know how to handle this preset way of thinking that Leicester have got, or they will sort of just hesitate and stop and not quite get there. And if they don't stop that that Dewsbury Hall Mevedidi triangle. Plays 1-2, bang bang, straight in the box. Then Coventry could find it a really tough day. What have they got on the bench? I mean, again, I would say that most of these players, you can probably bet, are worth at least half the Rotherham team. As I'm a Rotherham fan. Ben Nelson, Jacob, some grief, Stelarczyk, Yanis, oh, for heaven's sake, Aggun. Can we have some English names? I just can't say them. Callum Doyle, Hamza Chowdhury, Dennis Pratt, Casey McAteer, Mark Albrighton, wow, and Connor Cody. So we've got some good. We have got some good skills on the subs bench for Leicester. Today's captain is Ricardo Pereira. You can imagine that. I actually prefer. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I actually prefer. I know a lot of people put the captain as the one of the defenders. It's almost as if teams prefer to have that idea that the buck stops here. We will manage our back line and make sure that the supply is good, and that will make sure that the goals get put in at the other end while we're solid at the back. I actually think that a good midfield captain is a good to have. I mean, I don't know about you, but the guy in the middle, the guy who pulls back occasionally to help the defense and try and try and motivate them and get them, not be a captain, pulls back. Come on, guys, we need more on this. We need you to start closing down, man to man on this side. The thought of him pulling back and supporting that defense and getting them G'd up is not impossible. He's in midfield. He can do that. Yeah, the fans might see him pull back when they want him to run down the wing or something, but the idea of a midfield captain is that he's in midfield. He's usually within at least shouting distance of the front line and the back line, so he can actually try and push that idea forward from the front and back. So we're actually 12:30. Yeah, we are actually past it. I didn't even realize we were past it. So we are going to go straight into the match. I can talk forever. I mean, at the minute, over the Coventry one. So Jake Bidwell at the minute has it for Coventry. I would go and press the button at the wrong time.
Is that you? Like you said, percentage ball, but hang on, you're not under pressure. Percentage ball, if you're under pressure, you can only just scrape the ball away. But
so here we are.
Looking for one of those sky blue shirts, and I thought you had a lot of time to do that.
Coventry are now
it's that kind of thing that separates the great and good.
In possession.
To a challenge this time, he's lost the ball. But
it's 43% possession to Coventry at the minute.
There's not much in it though, is there? Clearly, the two good teams out there. Yeah, Coventry just picking up on some.
Coventry are picking up at the back. Coventry in attack are actually doing really well, and they're constantly taking the ball off Leicester at the back. Or at Leicester's back, and just having a go.
Shot comes in from distance, and that's gone wide of the left post. There, the keeper is scrambling.
So they're doing well there.
To go behind.
Leicester are looking very, very sloppy in possession.
Yeah, I think so.
Leicester are not too great at the back at the minute.
Because there's so much work from Coventry, you know.
It's with Leicester's goalie, and he's going to kick this one out.
Didn't catch hold of it, but again, he's chancing
hard. He's taking his time.
Don't know if it had been snowing, but anyway, I think the referee's spray tin's gone awry. Like snowball out there. Anyway, he'll have to sort himself out now. Down England goes, and they'll get a new can. But yeah,
what are they doing?
Well, whether they can sort of keep these levels up, it's a lot of hard work involved in what they do. You know, we'll have to wait and see.
There's a Palmer shot
on the ball there, about fast, and he got away with that. And again, I think Palmer goes for the strike. Then when a little ball 5 yards, 10 yards to his right might have been a better option.
Narrowly wide.
The replays of how the can exploded. The referee down England has dropped off his little hold all when you clip into his shorts.
He's just rolled it out to Vestergaard. So Vestergaard's it. Pulling it from the back.
It's a bit of a weak
Winks.
to explode.
Cassidy. And he loses it to Eric.
Matt Hermanson having made a really smart save from Sakamoto.
Jan van Erik.
Just got the cap on as well because
now for Coventry, who loses it over the line for a Leicester throw.
That's got a bit of sun on it, right in his box.
Yeah, and it's right.
I'll let them do the commentary. It's a lot easier. James Justin is now attacking. He's pushing out. Oh, and it's a shot on goal from Meredidi.
The Coventry won the toss there and thought, right, we'll have your keeper under pressure. That didn't make life easy for him, even with the peak cap on.
If you can get onto Sky's app, have a look at the picture. Apparently, the rest foam can has just exploded. Have a look at the picture; it's amazing. Yeah. Oh dear. This is an incident with his spray can. That's why it took so long for the goal kick.
Start again. Wasn't a bad strike there from Aberdeen.
Oh, Pereira, Vestergaard, forward to Cannon, Winks. They're sort of pushing forward and then pulling back, which is typical of Leicester City. They keep probing. They're very probe, and then pull back. So at the minute, Leicester City are trying to probe, and then they're coming back.
I'm looking for improvement. So far, he's a little touchback.
Turn that down a little. Quite near the microphone. But when they push forward to try and push and get that probing run into the Coventry area, at the minute they're losing it, and you've got Coventry picking it up almost immediately and pulling it forward to midfield. The difference with Coventry at the minute is that they're playing it in midfield and they're playing it along midfield. So they get the ball from the attack, the Leicester attack. They're playing it into midfield and then they're playing it across that midfield line. And then they lose it occasionally, like they have just now. And Dewsbury Hall tries passing it to, as I said before, didn't I? Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi, Justin. It'll probably go to Dewsbury Hall or Mavididi now. It doesn't go to Winks. But you see, they're doing very nice little triangles, which my team Rotherham tried with their last failed manager. And it's no use playing triangles and going back to basics if the team you're playing is a Premiership. The last one I remember him playing against was Leeds. And Leeds just took it. No, this is how you play triangles. Three triangles in the box, you know. Coventry welly it forward after a Leicester attack. And it lands with Vestergaard. At the minute, it was towards Leicester, and then it sort of I then opened up, and it sort of Coventry were pushing. Now Leicester are starting to retaliate and push back again. Those probing runs are getting further and further down. In a minute, Evic has it in Milan Van Evic has it in defence, right on the back line.
pressure. And he very nearly turns a corner there, and it's a corner kick.
That's why mine's actually stopped. So that's we're looking at the ref. So it must be. It was a was it or not? They're not quite sure at the minute. It looks like it is going to be a corner kick to Ipswich, to Leicester. No way Ipswich came there. So Leicester will take that corner.
Referee now is having a word with Madini.
Short one with the looks of it. And it gets blocked by Matt Godden, who will then pull it out, welly it into the...
Did he just say what you're going to say and I'll take the corner.
Right for the corner is played short, back towards
played short. See, I'm about 30 seconds ahead of the commentary.
Delivers it with the left foot, a diving header. Wasn't the greatest ball, and now Coventry can try and bring this one clear on the counter. Long ball down the right side of for O'Hare is overhit and recycled back towards Hermanson from Pereira. Again here,
Leicester City playing it in across the back end of midfield.
Just two Premier League games.
They're not wanting to pull it into defence. I noticed that Leicester don't play it across the defence. They almost play it across defence, but not quite. So Leicester City are pulling it back. They're not quite playing it as far forward as Coventry are playing it.
Back to the keeper, bending around the corner, Hermanson chasing it towards his own goal. It goes fairly well wide in the end. It's a bad ball and it's a corner kick.
As does Kitching, good delivery in here. There's a player short as well, and O'Hare. Suspect they'll just ignore him. They do. Right-footed corner comes in towards the near post. It's a strong header away.
I don't know where that came from. Coventry have it in midfield, over midfield. Push it. They're doing a lot of long balls when they get over the mid halfway line. At the minute, Coventry seem to have stopped, and they were playing some good football. They're now pushing it over the top. They seem to have stopped playing the good football, and now they're lobbing it into the box to try and get something.
When the sun's low, then maybe it's not such a bad thing, but you'd have to give credit to the goalkeeper there. It comes out.
He's just said the same thing on the commentary there. He's like, they're pushing it forward now. There is a low sun apparently. So actually, if you're pushing it, Coventry are pushing it into the box, but then the defenders are looking into the sun. So that's possibly why they're doing it. But at the minute, Coventry are in the ascendancy. They're in the attack. They're in Leicester half. They're passing it around in little triangles. I can see the route from what I'm watching. It gives you a little track of the last few routes, and they're playing nice little triangles. They lose the ball, and then Leicester kick it forward and lose it themselves. Back with Kitching in the Coventry half, who pushes it, and it's a shot by Matt Godden out of absolutely nowhere, but it just bounces up, gets saved, and it's back to Winks.
Still picking around inside the penalty area. Right-footed shot comes in from Godden. Deflected behind, it'll be another corner.
Yeah, ball picking about there. I think that's what the ball comes in, and Godden gets there first, and there's a little touch.
Well, that corner, if that was a corner, it's been cut out of it. Right, okay, they've stopped it. Yeah.
So, it's great job for him, and that will be a corner.
Melee in the box.
Bobby Thomas. Torino, Fatwa, Sakamoto, Palmer, Eccles. Just not quite getting it in that box area. They just cannot get it in.
Left-hand side. Right for the cross comes in. Looking to get on the end of that.
It's certainly back and forth here. It's really quite... when Leicester are in the attack, they are definitely in the ascendancy. Those probes that they keep doing is actually quite interesting. At the minute, you've got Leicester City are 8-5, which
say that.
Yeah, 1.5.
Passes,
And
first half,
Coventry are 15 to 8, which is nearly 2. So that's their. The Betsters are now thinking
it's been a decent game so far.
Slightly more likely to be a Leicester win.
The ball, now they're looking for a drive forward into the box. No. Fast,
or a Coventry win, but the draw is 11 to 5. So just over 2. So it's pretty even. They're not quite willing to put the odds on one particular team or on a draw.
Coventry look like a decent team, don't they? But they are coming up against a really good defence, and somehow the Foxes are scrambling well enough to keep them at bay just for the moment. And
just for the moment, indeed.
Them going forward.
No, for Coventry, they always look quite neat and tidy, don't they? But
it's quite good at the minute. We've got Coventry certainly appear to be pushing quite nicely. They're using the low sun with the looks of it, and they're trying to push it nice and low so that the defence can't see the ball because it's in the sun. So whereas they were playing the first few minutes on the floor and playing really well, I think they've decided that the low sun is something that they need to use. It's back with Collins in the Coventry goal.
And I was going to say a comfortable take, but then Bradley Collins drops it, immediately picks it back up. But I guess he wasn't under that much pressure. A little bit of a fumble didn't really cost him. Elsewhere, we talked about the Premier League. Chelsea 0, Fulham 0. Goodness knows where that game's going, but I think Fulham will be just a tad disappointed about their game at Anfield, having taken the lead in midweek.
So what have we got? Eccles.
Semi-final first leg. Anyhow.
In the Coventry midfield.
They're on the ball and trying to play it from the back.
They actually are, they are playing it from the back. At the minute, they are, for once, playing it along the back line, right in defence. And poor pass forward. And then a poor defence gives it to a Coventry throw-in. That was awful play from both sides. A poor pass forward. He's got the ball in his midfield and he loses it. And then he doesn't quite... it's weird. It's just a mix of everybody not doing very well.
Yeah, he seems to maybe have that little...
See if Vestergaard can... see if Vestergaard, Pereira, Faye... Pereira, Casadeo lost it to Sheaf. Ben Sheaf now in midfield. Can he remain in, please? No. Oh, and he gets it back again. And he loses it again. It's getting a little bit messy now. Heavy. Come on, stop it. Don't give it away. Keep the ball. I've seen a few teams start to say that from corners they're not lobbing the ball into the box anymore, and the reason is they think they've got a better chance of scoring if they keep possession. So if they do it short and then cross it into sort of midfield, sort of defensive attack, if you like, section, then they've at least kept the ball and they can try and work it into the box. Because if you just throw it into a box, unless you know that you're doing something special, like there's been a couple of amazing corners tactically that have been played so tactically brilliant. The opposition's got no chance of stopping it. Unless you can do that, it's a 50-50, isn't it? You lob it into a box with half a dozen of your players, half a dozen of the opponent's players. They're all being man-marked, shirt pulled. It is a 50-50. Quite often it's a 50-50, unless you've got somebody who's really tall 7 foot tall amongst all the other 5 foot tall players. Then
it's that little bit.
That's the idea.
That Leicester are missing today, really.
Leicester do nothing with that attack, and Coventry can build forward. Coventry are now well in the. Well, I wonder what the stats are for this. I wonder what the stats are for this. Let's have a look at the stats. It's still 48% to Coventry, 52% to Leicester. So Leicester are actually slightly more in the ascendancy on possession. And
he flies at it.
4 shots for Coventry, 2 on target. 1 shot for Leicester, none on target. 3 corners for Coventry, 1 for Leicester. Leicester seem to be having a slightly more of the possession, but they've got a quarter of the shots on goal.
With the keeper so far out.
Not a goalkeeper though, because he chests it down, Hermanson, and then he goes really high with the foot. If an outfield player puts a foot that.
A bit of a problem with the.
And a challenge. The referee immediately gives a free kick. But because Hermanson does it.
Anyhow. And I think maybe the referee was playing on from that, and I think he might have given a free kick for that rather than anything that happened after. But anyway, the free kick's taken short. They've made a right mess of that.
Oh dear. There's some bad play in the middle. There's some really.
Try and work it down.
I call it ping pong football. Where Coventry lose it and then Leicester lose it straight back again, and then Coventry lose it straight back again. For God's sake, keep the fucking ball. Coventry are in a dangerous area. Oh, and it's a shot on goal by Bidwell. Off target though, so bounces back, played back to Casey Palmer. Sakamoto.
It's a good ball from him.
He's back in attack. Palmer, they're keeping the pressure on.
And then a shot comes in on the volley, blocked before he gets to keeper. Palmer now trying to get the run around. And then
it's the blockages that are really sort of keeping it. What's happened here? Casey Palmer's. It stopped with Casey Palmer. So why? What we're thinking here?
The box he goes, lays it on Palmer. Is he going to get a strike in? Outside with his right boot, and net for him.
Yeah, really good recovering from him. Forward,
it was just straight. They're giving it straight to the goalie for a kick. So where are we going to go from here? See, Leicester are just plodding it around midfield now. It's going from side to side. It's not doesn't appear to be any particular. No, they're doing the probe, aren't they? They probed down the left-hand side. They pulled it back. I bet they probed down the right now.
Whipped a good ball in. There's a little nod away.
Yeah, there we are, down to Dewsbury Hall, down the right to Fatawa. Comes back, goes back into. Palmer's stopped that one.
With that. Anyway, the ball,
it's almost readable what Coventry are doing, what Ipswich are doing. And Coventry are managing to say, look, they've gone down that side. They're going to go pull it back if we can stop them. And they'll pull it down the other side. And in that case, Palmer knew that the ball was on the Ipswich's right. It came back. It's going to go down the left. And it did. And he stopped it straight away because he knew where it was going. Again, Justin probes it down the left this time. Let's see if they then pull it back and probe it down the middle or the right. They pull it back. Yeah. Is it going to go down the right? He's gone Ricardo in middle. Vestergaard, Ricardo.
On his chest, he was onside.
Doesn't usually. No, they're not. Oh, he's down the left again. Totally wrong. You see, I'm totally wrong. Mevedidi down the left, pulls it back. They don't usually do 2 probes down the same bit. And here we go, right-hand side, straight across the cannon, and Bidwell stops it down the left, down Ipswich's right, their left. He was positioned there to wait for it to go down the opposite side. I wonder if
Dewsbury Hall, for me, I would be thinking that'd be a yellow card. It's maybe
Mavididi gets it, cuts it out in on the left.
this division.
Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi, Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi, Dewsbury Hall. And he's in the box, and can he shoot? Can he shoot? Oh, we lose it. Bradley Collins gets it. Can he welly it out? Can Bradley Collins get welly it out? I don't know what's happening here.
Driving forward, maybe an opportunity for Dewsbury Hall. Wriggles in. They can't get rid of him, and eventually his ball scraped away.
He's kicked it out. Ben Sheaf.
A real poor pass.
Gordon. Bit of an internet issue here. I keep stopping, but he's wellied it forward to face. Wells it forward to Palmer. Who wells it back to face. Who wells it back to Palmer. Oh, come on! Sakamoto shoots off target, blocked. Dewsbury Hall gets it, pushes it forward. I mean, that was almost about 3 times they kicked it to each other. Mavididi, Dewsbury Hall on a shot by Cassady.
And then he's driving forward, and they've got 3 against 2 if they can use it. Mavididi.
Oh, the connection here is not doing very well. I'll move that out of the way.
Right foot, and he's going to get a right foot strike. No, he's not. The ball now to Cassady. A chance. Oh, and he's gone just wide. Left foot chance and maybe gone for.
So that was off. And I'm stopped as well. The radio's stopped.
Slightly when Mavididi, like you said, he's all right foot. Van Uig.
Shall we go? No, I can do actually. I can go back. We can go back and see the Premier League. Can we? No, we're on the Championship. I think we'll go in play.
But you think, he's just going to whip it in, but really nice.
I don't know if Cassady's left-footed or not.
Yeah, still 0-0 at Chelsea.
The ball's coming from the right.
Fulham have it in their own box. Who's 60-40, 60% possession for Chelsea. 7 shots by Chelsea, but only 1 on target. Fulham have had 2 shots, both on target. Be very careful, I think, is the answer to that one.
I don't know.
So we go back into the Coventry game.
Well, maybe he's worked that one out. Sakamoto now.
The odds on Leicester have now dropped slightly. The odds on Coventry have lengthened again slightly. They're just over 2-1 now. 21-10. And the odds on a draw have actually slightly lowered to 15-8. So nobody really knows. I think that odds changes of that tend to be because of people's betting. And we have a Leicester City side that has a lot of supporters and a lot of stay-at-home supporters who will be on their phones betting away. Number of Coventry supporters in comparison is going to be quite small. So the amount of betting and the volume of it is what's going to be changing it by those amounts. It's only if it's really seriously moving a different direction to what the fan base is betting, that the betsters will say, no, it's only changing because of that. We're going to push the odds the other way because we don't want to be paying so much money to all these the smaller betting fans.
Here is a little breakout now, and it is gone down left hand side, gets the ball out of his feet.
I mean, it is a money thing. Yellow card to Coventry. The problem is with odds, with the betting, is that they choose odds based on what they think, what the score's going to be, and who's going to win. And then it's totally about who's betting. So if someone puts £1 million on Ipswich now, on Leicester now, I keep calling them Ipswich. if somebody puts £1 million on Leicester now, the odds are going to go so low. Oh, Leicester are obviously going to win, and we're going to pay. You have to put £1,000 on to get £1 back, because they can't afford to pay any more money to it. So they don't want people to bet on it, because this £1 million that's being put on Leicester is by one person. They can't afford that to win, so the odds on Leicester become stupid, and it's like they're obviously going to win, but not because they're obviously going to win, but because somebody's put so much money on them. So the problem with looking at the odds through the game is that if you've got a massive team like Leicester or Sheffield Wednesday, and they're playing someone, one of the minnows like Rotherham or Bury, then the odds are going to be naturally that Sheffield Wednesday are going to slaughter the opposition. But certainly last year when Wednesday were in League One, you would be thinking, and Ipswich when they were in League One, and Bolton now in League One, they've got really good fan base. But the amount of people betting pushes their odds to more likely to win, when actually, certainly in League One, those teams have been pretty average. And it means actually that if you actually think that the opposition could win, and they're a smaller team, you're going to get some really good odds from them. So think about that. Coventry nearly scored there. They got their corner, but they lose it at the corner. How can you lose it from a corner? They played it short and lost it.
Nice ball played out. Sakamoto does everything right. Lovely little cutback ball by Van Uwijk. He puts it really on a plate for O'Hare running onto it. He's trying to open.
Oh, and he loses it again. And Eccles gets it back. And will he pass it? Sakamoto he was at Ben Sheaf. They're in the middle. Come on, probe a bit. Evic and back to Thomas. They pulled it all the way back. How did they pull it all the way back to their goalkeeper? Coventry are in a really good position there, and they passed it backwards, all the way back to the goalie. And it's like, why? You're on the front foot. Go for it.
Teams have had their chances, but it's a day where you need to be cool and calm in front of goal, and maybe that's not been the order of the day.
The odds on a draw are now starting to drop a little bit now, and this to me shows signs that the actual betsters are now saying, the people who run the actual betting companies are now starting to say there's actually the people who are betting on their own team to win may be wrong, and that we don't want to pay so much out for a draw because it may very well happen. Fatawu, when he goes into the edge of the box, can he do anything with it? He pulls it back to Cassidy, who winks, and Thomas, now Palmer's going to bring it back out, loses it to Pereira, and he shoots, but Dewsbury Hall shoots, and it's Liam Kitchen gets it. Bidwell well is it forward to face Pereira, winks, playing it along their midfield back line now.
Shot comes in from Dewsbury Hall. He's screaming for that, a penalty waved away by the referee, and now it's Coventry on the counter attack. But the ball is cleared by.
It's ping pong ball in the middle now. Leicester, Coventry, Leicester, Coventry. Coventry playing it back, trying to keep the ball now, which is good. Ben Sheaf.
There was a player either side of it, but maybe too many options, but they didn't make the most of it. And the shot from Dewsbury Hall, I immediately shook my head when the
yellow card for Coventry.
The referee immediately was like, no, wave the hands away. It's not a penalty. I think if it did hit any part of the arm, very, very harsh thing to have given a penalty.
Yeah, so again,
two yellow cards for Coventry. What's happened here? The odds have disappeared.
To the spot has given a free kick. Bobby Thomas, a judge to have caught Kane in Dewsbury Hall. He smiles and laughs. I think Dewsbury Hall made that look like a penalty, but let's take a look. It doesn't matter what I think right now. It's a penalty. It was a reckless challenge from Bobby Thomas, wasn't it? He gets the ball.
Two yellow cards for penalty to
anymore.
Leicester. Two yellow cards for Coventry.
Yes, Bobby Thomas
I don't even. The shot that I was being given was on that Leicester had the ball on the left side. And all of a sudden, it's two yellow cards and a penalty.
Seeing that on replay, he gets a little flick of the ball, but his stud's going to the side, the inside of Dewsbury Hall's right knee. It's a bad challenge. No,
it's definitely gets the ball first, which is why I thought Dewsbury Hall has won that penalty, because I'm thinking, Bobby Thomas gets the ball, boots it away, and Sakamoto got a yellow card.
So they thought they got a penalty just now.
But you see it again.
Coventry kick it out, comes back in, and then they do get a penalty. I can't help thinking that the refs sort of put this, thought, perhaps I got it wrong, I'll give them a penalty this time.
Looks like this kid. Anyway, cool and calm.
Goal, Leicester has scored.
Looking to his right
1-0 Leicester.
Goalkeeper's left. Is that where he's going to go? Your guess is good as mine. Never been that good at poker. But anyway, Bradley Collins waits for it in his goal. Referee blows his whistle.
Goal.
And now, Dewsbury Hall then. And he goes the other way. Well, he sent me the wrong way there. And the ball eventually rolled in, almost passed into the back of the net. When he gave the eyes, he's definitely going to that left-hand side of the keeper. Then he goes to the right. The goalkeeper's been sent the other way.
I would have had that. I pointed at the bottom left corner. I would have had that penalty. But no, it's a cool penalty by Dewsbury Hall.
So we're with Bobby Thomas in the Coventry area now, and they're 1-0 down to Leicester.
Just puts it in the bottom left corner. Yeah, well, again, you wouldn't say Leicester have deserved that, but we've seen Leicester have some really sloppy play, playing out from the back and giving Coventry half chances. Well, Coventry, it'd been the past 5 minutes. They had their warnings before, didn't they? William Kitchen, when he did it, got away with it. And
the funny thing is, I've been thinking that Coventry are more likely to score.
Yes,
but I actually bet. I put a 6-way bet on, and I actually put Leicester to win. But Coventry are actually still playing quite well, and they're still pushing it forward.
Back in the day.
How many minutes have we had? 45 minutes plus 3. We've got 3 minutes extra time.
It's also sort of leg breaking.
Can Coventry? Nope, they lose it to Dewsbury Hall.
I keep citing this, but I remember it.
I said, didn't I, at the beginning? Dewsbury Hall and Mavididi, when they get this triangle 1-2-1-2 going, it's very, very difficult. They just eat through the middle of defence. This is why I was rather strange. I found it strange that they were doing the probe down the right, the left, probe down the right, probe down the left. And then they weren't probing in the middle, they were just probing down either side. And the second they probe into the middle, they get a goal. Well, penalty.
It's a big mistake from Bobby Thomas, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's only just got to go and just nick the ball away, flick it away. But, Dewsbury Hall, in credit to him, make sure that he's in there to receive a bit of a boot, and it's a nasty one.
Coventry are in the attacking third. Push.
Thomas, he'll know that now when they look back at the tape.
Leicester City push it back.
Yeah, I think it was. Ridgewell against Theo Walcott.
What happened there? Bidwell, did he take the ball, or did he?
And then he's absolutely through him, bang, And
did he foul him?
Memory serves me well, but that's the kind of challenge that they're trying to sort out. It's a good challenge this time in the middle of the park, and then a real lunge on a straight red card.
Straight red card. He did foul him. Yeah. Leicester, it's Leicester that's fouled him. Leicester are down to 10 then.
Fatawu, who went right through his man. Is it Ricardo? I'm not sure. We'll sort it all out. It's a straight red. I think it is. Fatawu had been having a sort of poor game, really. But let's take another look at it and tell us what you think, James.
Yeah, I mean, initially I made it. Saw the noise. I went, "Oof, that's a tough one." I mean,
there was two tackles there. It was just a bit tackle,
He's not over the top of the
and
ball,
he
is
couldn't really tell
Not
which
been
one he was
simple
going to go
before
for.
that. It
I
wasn't a good
couldn't.
challenge. And I'm pretty sure that he didn't mean it with malice. He's gone in strong to win the ball, and he's through the back of the ball. He's not over the top of the ball.
I'm not having that as a red. I'm like you. Bidwell just gets the ball away, but he's going in. He's a little bit
So
frustrated.
Liam Kitchen's going to take this into Ben Sheaf,
Doesn't make
loses
contact
it to
with
Justin.
the studs. He just
Coventry were
slides
throwing
through, and
on
he-
48 minutes. It should
Strong challenge.
be the
it's not a red, it's not a
end
red,
But
now.
it's a yellow card. I agree. He's overdone it, but he's not gone over the top of the ball. He slid through the ball. Back in the day,
I don't like those where they go through the ball and they get a red. I think Rotherham had one recently, and it clearly wasn't a red, but he gets a red, and you think, yeah, but he got the ball. Yeah, he went through it, but he got the ball.
Here is Palmer now, and he breaks past the challenge.
I can't remember who it was. Rotherham did one, and they were calling for a penalty. The opposition were calling for a penalty. But when you slow play it, the Rotherham player hit the ball and tipped it away.
I think he got the shout. Vestergaard, I think, was going to head that
Yeah,
one
he
away.
got the player with his shin as he went through, but he got the ball, and it went miles away. He didn't touch the away player, the attacker. The attacker never got it because he took the ball away from him. But they're all, oh, it's a penalty! It's a penalty! And for the first time, Rotherham got the benefit of the doubt. And no, it was a good tackle. He got the ball. So it's half time, and we will go away for a drink. Didn't get anybody, so we will probably close it there. I hope anybody who listens to that can enjoy the first half again. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I enjoyed that.